This is an interesting one. Chase Down podcast tweet. Since Isaac Okoro took over the starting position 15 games ago, starting lineup of Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, Allen, a plus 20.5 net rating, 123 offensive, 102.5 defensive. The problem is they haven't been healthy. They've only played 8 of the 15 games. Bench minutes have been where most teams have is where the teams have struggled the most. So again, you're trying to figure out how your two main young stars, Garland and Mitchell, fit together. You're trying to solve a small forward issue, and you're also trying to make sure that your young bigs continue to develop. There's a lot going on with that.
Yeah, in the NBA, you don't have much practice time either. You know, it's like a game every other night for the most part. So you're learning kind of on the fly and developing on the fly. And then, you know, as the tweet said, 8 out of 15 games that those guys have been together, that makes it tough too. But, you know, you always are going to have to overcome injuries. They're always, especially during an 82-game season, you know, what you're hoping for is that it's not long or extended injuries to your key players. So obviously the bench has just not played overall well, probably for, you know, 5 or 6 weeks. They just haven't gotten much from their bench. And that's really drugged them down. It's made them, you know, probably makes JB feel like he's got to keep the starters in or really tighten up the rotation. But the nice thing is, you know, when those guys are healthy, when they have most of their guys, and they get some run together, whether it's 4 or 5 game stretch, they've fared pretty well. But even so, you know, they had all their guys the other night against in the loss to Miami, and you know, again, just not able to finish, losing a close game. And I think that was a result of a veteran playoff team facing a team that's never been there before. So, you know, those are just kind of lessons that they've got to learn and take to the next game and the next week and the next month.
You know, the guy that really seems to kind of be taking it up a level is Isaac Okoro, especially on the offensive end last few games. He's looking to be more of a factor and is more of a factor.
Yeah, without question, he's been a guy who, you know, for the first couple of years was just kind of a guy who to me looked like he's just kind of running up and down the court, really not doing a whole lot. But he's improved his 3-point shooting. He's gotten confident in his perimeter shooting, not to mention the fact that he is, you know, right from the beginning, he's been a good player when it comes to taking the ball to the basket, finishing at the rim. So he's gaining confidence little by little. And, you know, look, most time in the NBA, they'll tell you, GMs and scouts will tell you, year 3 is when you're pretty much going to have a really good gauge as to what type of player a guy is going to be. We saw that last year with Darius Garland, and we've seen it throughout the course of history in the league. So that's a very promising sign that Okoro really is playing his best basketball, you know, 30 games in and beyond of his career. So that's a promising sign for them. It's a promising sign for him that, you know what, I can grow with these other 4 core pieces and be that 5th starter.